Hi, I'm Elemi from Yeyeo Botanica. Welcome back. So great to see you all. Thank you so much for all your support and sharing us with others. I want to shout out all my people from Ghana. Woo! Thank you for all your support, sharing us even in Africa. Remember, we're www.yeyeo. We're a spiritual and wellness supplier, and we do videos about all things spiritual. And I'm Elemi. Today, our video is going to be about the differences between tarot cards and oracle cards and how to use them. So, let's get started. So today I thought that we could talk a little bit briefly about tarot cards versus oracle cards. There are people who are tarot card readers that are very kind of strict to how they read cards, reading cards through the Celtic cross, different setups that go with reading tarot cards. And so wanted to share a little bit because there are times where people are getting spiritual readings and they want to know, oh, are you reading tarot cards, or do you mix cards together? How do you read cards? All of these different questions. In addition, people come in all the time and they buy cards, and sometimes people say, oh, I'm getting into reading cards. And so I wanted to share some things about tarot cards that I wish someone shared with me when I first started reading, and just to kind of share some tidbits with you all today. And hopefully these tidbits will help you also in your journey with reading cards, whether they be tarot or oracle. So again, I want to start first with tarot cards, and this is the Rider-Waite deck, maybe the most famous deck in tarot cards. This is a deck that's a plastic deck that I have. Really love them. I have them in paper and plastic, but plastic is not something that you'll find for all decks, but the Rider-Waite deck is so famous and so popular. It's been done and reformatted, redesigned in so many different ways. I thought I would share that deck with you, but also share some oracle decks. And so traditional tarot card decks go through major, minor arcana. You talk about clubs, cups, and so on, swords, and have different archetypes, different models that they represent. And oftentimes they will come with a manual or come with a book. And so one of the things I like to share with people is when you go to get a card reading, or you get a card reading and the person is just so dynamite. I mean, I've been read by, know people who are card readers, and they are just fantastic. Oftentimes, if not most times, they have a spirit guide that actually helps them to divine or to read through the cards. Then there are other people who they may put the cards down, but you don't see them really moving the cards around or using the cards a lot, because the spirit guide just kind of uses it as a platform to speak. And so that's something to keep in mind, because sometimes I've even had people say, well, what does that card mean? And what does that card mean? Well, if a person's a really good reader, they're not going to read the card exactly the way the card is. The card is a guide, right? It's a doorway into this world. So, this world of information. So let's go through some of them. Today we have the Rider-Waite deck, as I mentioned, and we've got some other decks here as an example. We have the Illis Tarot, and we have Iris. And the other one that I didn't put down, we have the Goddess Guiding Oracle. So this one is tarot, and this one is oracle. And actually this one, the guiding one, the Goddess Guiding Oracle deck I used for a live about a year ago on Facebook. So let's go through the Rider deck. As an example, when people say, oh, are you reading it exactly the way it is? It's not supposed to be read exactly the way it is. Why? Because your insight, your spiritual gifts are supposed to kick in when it's time to read the deck. So this is an example, is from the Rider Waite deck. This is the Fool card, right? And so this can be read many ways. But if you notice, there's a cliff here. And so someone would say, oh, are you going off a cliff? Oh, look where you're going. Pay attention, right? Then you've got the little dog here on on his heels. So I could go through all of them. That would make the video extremely long. So I'm just going to give you some examples as we go along. If you notice here, the sky is clear, right? So I'm going to go through some more. This one, it's another one. This is the Six of Swords. And this card oftentimes represents movement. Someone is moving, they're leaving, they're changing something, right? And that things are not so great and they're going to get better. Let's see what other one may be a good one to use. This one is also a very beautiful card, the Ace of Cups. See here, it has the hand overflowing. My cup runneth over, right? We hear that. We see the dove, which is represented of the God force or the heavens. We've got the cosmogram here, or the cross. We've got the flowing waters, greenery, the hand of the source or the Almighty. So just ways to read these cards, right? Here's another one, the Lover's card, which everyone I think has seen in the past. And this card obviously speaks for itself. I mean, we could be here all day doing interpretations of this card, but also for me, just in this moment with looking at this card, and I don't normally look at them from this direction, but I also see here, even in this card, that there can be transformation around a love relationship also, to keep that in mind. So let's see, one more. We've got the Ten of Cups, and this card also is so beautiful around family. The children are playing, the couple have their hand on each other, they're looking at the rainbow, the sky is clear, right? This is a really positive for family and loved ones. So again, we've got cups, we've got swords, we've got baston, we've got clubs, so on and so forth. Once you start moving down, people now take these ideas and they make a modern approach, right? So just like us, we're the modern approach to traditional beliefs. So in this next deck, this is a very, very modern deck, right? We've got here the Moon card. Well, we've got Erykah Badu that this person has put for the Moon card. And I want to look up the author of this deck, Christy Prokopiak. All right. We've got Sade here as the Empress. Right, and the Empress card, again, you can find in the Waite deck. The Sun card we have here. What is her name again? Drew Barrymore, right? We've got here Beyonce for the Death card around transformation. She's always reinventing herself, right? We've got Lisa Bonet here. She's the Magician. So I'm just giving you examples of how they've used modern people to embody some of these traditional cards, right? And here we've got Redman and Method Man as Knight of Wands, right? So these following the traditional tarot. Now we move into oracle decks, right? So oracle decks are to take in a message. It's like, what's the message today? And you can do that with tarot cards, But for people who are just starting out, oracle cards are preferred. Why? Because you can get into it immediately. You can get the message. You don't have to set them up in a certain way. You don't have to memorize what are the clubs for, what are the swords for, what are the numbers associated. You don't have to do any of that. You can just get the message immediately. And so if you're just starting, perfect. Oracle cards are really not the best to read people in the beginning. Once you have kind of mastered reading people, I think if you're a person to read others, then I think oracle cards are a little bit more helpful, that you can mix them together also with traditional tarot cards. Here's an example of an oracle card. It says, "Be free, be what you love." And this is from the Iris deck, right? Beautiful artistry, not like the modern deck, right? As an example, this one has beautiful artistry. Here's another one. This one, sitting on top of the world, right? So that's that deck. Now this is another deck, the Goddess Guidance Oracle deck. This is maybe one of my favorite decks. I have a couple personal decks. This one sits in my office with me. So this one, it has one here, Yemaya, really to speak to the Orisha Yemaya, but because this deck is really focused on the goddess. And so what does it say here? It says, "Golden opportunity. Important doors are opening for you right now. Walk through them," right? This is something that it doesn't make a difference what you know. You can pull a card and get a message, right? We have Pele here from the volcano Pele, but the goddess that oversees that, divine passion. It says, "Be honest with yourself. What is your heart's true desire?" Right? Very, very to the point. Gives you a message. We have one here, Abundancia, right? This is a prosperity card. It says the universe is pouring its abundance out to you. Be open to receiving, right? And lastly, I wanted to share this one because we have a Lakshmi dupe incense, which I've shown on our incense video. And this one says, Lakshmi, bright future, stop worrying, everything is going to be fine. So as you can see, oracle versus tarot, structure versus unstructured. And so, as I mentioned before, if you're just starting out, oracle is great. You can do tarot as well, but if you really want to just try something, oracle is wonderful. If you're very advanced, you can mix them together. If you're in between, either one. So they're very much based on personal preference. You see a lot more creativity in oracle cards, I believe, than you see as much in terms of artistry in tarot cards, because tarot cards need to have a little bit more structure and a little bit more studying. So I hope that you enjoyed that. Hope you got some ideas. See how you can use them to your own benefit, and let me know which ones you have, which ones you like, and how you use your cards. And see you next time. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like us, share us with others, give me a thumbs up, hit the bell for notifications, and come visit us in the store. Check us out on all social media. See you next time.